What is going on, friends? My name is Mark Denney, and today we're talking landscape photography workshops, specifically why you should be attending them. So I just got back from the Out of Acadia Landscape Photography Conference in Acadia National Park in Bangor, Maine. I had the opportunity to rub elbows with some of the best landscape photographers in the world, such as THOMAS HEATON, Nick Page, ERIN Babnik, and it really made me realize the importance of going to these types of workshops. So once I got home and I unpacked and unwinded a little bit from the trip, and I had an opportunity to really reflect on the overall experience and determine exactly what I took away from it. And I came up with 5 things that really meant a lot to me that I'm gonna take home from the event and kind of apply to my photography moving forward. And the first thing is just reigniting the passion or inspiration in photography. I mean, let's face it, not sugarcoating anything, sometimes it just gets hard and it gets boring a little bit. I can't tell you how many times I go out on location and I take an image and I go home and I process it and I'm like, this looks like crap. You know, this isn't any good. This is stale. This is boring. And then you get a couple more of those shoots and same result, just boring, bland images. And before you know it, you don't go out anymore. You're starting to hit the snooze alarm, or hell, you don't even set the alarm to get up for sunrise anymore. Before you know it, week after week goes by and it's been 1-2 months and you haven't even picked up your camera. So going to a photography workshop is a great way just to reignite that passion and really create that fire in your belly to get out there and make those images. Now, the second major takeaway was just safety in numbers. Now, I'm not afraid to admit it. Sometimes when you're trying to get to a location before the sunrise, or you're trying to hike back after you shot the sunset, you're in the dark, in a location, in the woods that you're not very familiar with. That feeling gets a little eerie sometimes. So being with a group of folks, not being the only head torch in the woods, definitely took away the anxiety of what happens in this situation where I'm the only one in the woods and I need help. So not having that fear was definitely a welcome change. And the third item is just overall friendship and camaraderie. I created relationships on this most recent trip that'll probably last me a lifetime. I mean, you're with the same group of people for 4 days, a week, sometimes even longer. You're waking up at crazy hours, you're going to bed in the middle of the night, you're tired from hiking all day, carrying your gear, you're hungry, and you're all fired up the entire time you're doing it, all because of the passion of landscape photography. So you're in it together as a unit, and you're all having a blast together, helping each other out, rooting each other on, and it's just a great environment to spend time with, like-minded people. And the fourth item is tips from the pros. Now, sometimes it's difficult to write down questions that you might have for somebody when it's not related to any type of an immediate event. Now, what I mean by that, in the instance that comes to mind, is I was with ERIN Babnik on Boulder Beach, and I had a very specific question that was an issue that was occurring at that moment with my histogram, specifically with the RGB channels. I would have never thought to ask anybody this question or to try and get their advice on how to handle it, but because I was in the moment, I was with ERIN Babnik, she was able to come over, give me her advice on how to handle it, and it was amazing. And that type of feedback is stuff that I will remember forever, but I would have never thought to ask that question to anybody, let alone her, without being in that moment with her. So tips from the pros, there's going to be many situations like that as you go throughout your workshop. So just being able to have that one-to-one interaction is tremendous. Now, for the fifth and final reason, and possibly the most important reason to join a landscape photography workshop, is confidence. Confidence, or lack of confidence, is the #1 reason why people fail at their dreams, or they don't aspire to do what they truly want to do, is because they don't think they can do it. Going to a photography workshop is a great way to increase the confidence. This kind of gets tied back into the first one of reigniting your flame or your passion for landscape photography. When you don't feel passionate about what you're doing, you're obviously not going to have confidence in it. So having that increase in confidence was fantastic for me. I was able to spend time with some of the professional photographers that I look up to, and I realized they're just normal people like you and I. They're not superheroes with superpowers. They're very good at what they do, but it made me realize that anybody can be a great landscape photographer. You just have to have confidence in yourself, and you have to have the passion. Just get out there and do it. Now, once you've decided to go to a landscape photography workshop, there's some things you should do in order to maximize your time there. The first thing being just setting goals for yourself. What do you want to achieve out of this workshop besides just getting pretty pictures? Is it, do you want to work on composition? Do you want to work on specific camera settings for certain instances? Whatever it is, write your goals down and bring them with you and have a game plan of what you want to get out of it. You're more than likely going to be with photographers that you definitely look up to, and what better opportunity than to ask them questions and get their feedback on the specific issues or things that you want to improve upon. The second thing is research your locations. You're going to know well in advance of your workshop exactly where you're going each day. You can go on Google Earth online and you can really get a great feeling of the specific location before you ever even get there. I'm not saying to pre-identify your shots or to go ahead and work on your compositions before you ever get there, but you can get a very good feeling of the landscape before you get there, so you're already somewhat familiar when your feet hit the ground. Now, the next thing you want to do to prepare for your workshop is do some research on your instructors. Figure out exactly, who they are. You probably already know the basic things about them, but dig a little bit deeper. Where did they go to school? Did they go to school? How long have they been a photographer? How did they get into photography? Where do they like to spend most of their time? Really kind of invest in them a little bit and get to know them before you ever even meet them is a great way to just be a little bit more prepared. And also, now this is very important, you want to practice your camera. And what I mean by that is when you're on location at the workshop, that's not the time to be fumbling around with basic camera settings. You want to make sure that you know all the buttons and whistles, all the ins and outs of your camera before you ever get to your workshop. You can sit in your living room at night while you're watching TV with your camera in your lap and just start playing through the menus, tweaking things this way and that way, and just getting familiar as possible before the workshop starts. Now, last and certainly not least is what photography gear do you need? Do a little bit of digging into the exact locations that you're going to and find out what the most commonly used photo gear is. Do you need ND grad filters? Do you need soft edge? Do you need hard edge? Do you need water boots? Are you going to be near water? Is it going to be wet, rainy, windy? Whatever it is, make sure you have the right photo gear and you also have the right clothing with you just to maximize your time there. Once you get there, that's not the time for that aha moment and go, oh my God, I forgot X, Y, and Z. And there you have it, the top 5 reasons why you should join a landscape photography workshop and the top 5 ways to prepare for said workshop. I hope you found the video entertaining and informative. If you liked the video, like it. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!
AAA, credits are right. Hang up the phone and let your heart break on the interlay. 24 twice. She's on the phone, but she's staying on.